trucking has completely went flat bottom, man. I can honestly tell you these past 3 weeks.
If you're a trucker that's been hauling 4 or 5 containers per day, starting this week, you'll likely be hauling 2 or 3 loads.
Bro, is y'all watching the news? Is y'all watching the motherfucking news?
You know, it's funny now that UPS is laying off 20,000 workers and truckers are sounding the alarm like, whoa, what is going on around? Why all these bad, I voted for Trump. Why are all these bad things happening?
I'm trying to figure this shit out with the farmers and the truckers. Maybe y'all can help me.
Trucking layoffs, new tariffs, trade wars. Is there a recession coming sooner than we think?
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for choosing us again. I'm your presenter Joel Mugisha. If you are new, kindly consider subscribing and being part of this growing community. Alright, trucking used to be the best job in the United States, to the point where a single person actually operating a truck cannot be, registered as a single, business owner. They have to register as a company because of the kind of money that they were making. But mind you, many truckers actually voted for the orange man in charge. Now they are crying all over social media. We have seen truckers actually warning of the recession because of empty ports and no loads. Many truckers have had to actually park their trucks and dump their chassis because there is no loads for them. This is what you get when you vote for hatred. This is what you get when you vote against your own best interest. So MAGA truckers are actually crying here online, begging for help left, right, and center. What do we have to tell them? You F around, you find out. Let's jump into the videos that I have compiled for you. I'll be back with more commentary.
I'm trying to figure this shit out with the farmers and the truckers. Maybe y'all can help me. I get it that y'all like Donald Trump because you voted for him, especially the farmers, seeing as though y'all voted for him twice. Y'all didn't learn shit the first time around. And the truckers support him. Understood. But how does that help you and your business and your family succeed in life? That's kind of like voting against your own interests. As your shit rots in the silos in terms of the soybean, as the ships get turned around from China and other countries, and the ones that are coming are only halfway full, and the truckers can't get a load because there ain't shit on the docks to pick the fuck up. How does voting for Trump help you? Because you're getting a subsidy check? I'm talking about you farmers. And because the truckers have to continue to struggle? Is that what makes America great? Is that how you think that you have the luxury of continuing to separate yourself from the American people when you are the American people? And all of this shit is connected. We all need to band together to sit up here and get people in office that are going to support our interests. Us, the people, not the oligarchs, not the rich, not Donald Trump.
Doesn't it just blow your goddamn fucking mind that if Kamala Harris was the president, everything would be just so much better right now? Like, on the surface, just everything. Because we all know that the economy that Trump was handed by Biden was growing. It was on the up. He willingly chose to fuck everybody over with this stupid trade war that everybody agreed was fucking stupid. Especially the Wall Street Journal, who came out right away and said this is just completely fucking stupid. But all of his supporters think he's playing 3D chess, when really it's just chutes and ladders, and mostly shoots at this point. But anyway, when everything goes to inevitable shit, like in a couple months in the summertime when we don't have shelves that are full of anything because there's no ships in our goddamn ports, he's gonna try to blame Jerome Powell, who's the head of the Fed. He is going to do that, but we all know he's full of shit. So we're literally just a sinking ship at this point. I don't know if they've started playing Nearer My God to Thee on the violins yet, but definitely by summertime, we're gonna be hearing that shit. And, it's going to take all these dumb Trumpies losing their job to realize how much of a havoc he's truly wreaked on this country. But in the meantime, we still have to hear all this dumb shit about, he's saving America, he's bringing manufacturing back to America. Jesus fucking Christ. And I suppose you, Cletus, you're going to be the one that puts the Nike shoes together? Give me a fucking break. God, this country's just so fucking stupid. I blame religion, quite honestly. Because when you can get people to believe that dumb shit, you can get them to believe anything. Like the Republican Party cares about working class people. Anyway, I'm jealous of those people who have the financial means to stock up on shit right now because a true shitstorm is fucking coming. I don't even think most people are even fucking prepared for it, but it's so stupid. And I kind of hope it ends with everybody going into the White House and ripping him apart limb from limb. But we'll just have to wait and see. Get the popcorn ready. Stock up on the popcorn. It's about to be double the cost.
America's supply chain is about to snap. Drivers pulled off the road, imports slowing, prices rising. You're about to feel it, and it's going to be fast. Let's talk about the real consequences of the trucking crackdown and the tariff surge. Share and repost before it's too late. On April 28, 2025, President Trump's executive order enforcing strict English proficiency for commercial drivers combined with rising tariffs could trigger a domino effect unlike we've ever seen before. 350,000 truckers are at risk of losing their livelihoods. These aren't just numbers. Truckers are responsible for moving everything from food to fuel and medical supplies to electronics. Without them, the entire supply chain is in serious trouble. But that's not all. Rising tariffs on goods from overseas and slowing shipping are already putting a squeeze on the flow of products into the country. This double blow could mean more than just a temporary inconvenience. The consequences are real and they're coming. So here's what we could be looking at. Food shortages. No trucks mean no fresh foods. Shelves empty fast. Milk, eggs, bread gone. Without international shipping, also slowing, even canned goods could vanish. Prepare now or go without. Fuel shortages. Gas stations run dry. No deliveries means no fuel. Prices skyrocket as demand outpaces supply, especially with rising tariffs on imported oil. Supply chain breakdown. From medicine to electronics, supplies stop flowing. Stores close, factories halt. With imports crawling and trucks parked, shortages hit every sector. Rising costs. Everything gets more expensive. Food, fuel, essentials to live. Fewer drivers and new tariffs mean prices surge and your paycheck buys less and less every week. Unrest. Empty shelves and rising costs could spark chaos. People get desperate, fights break out, riots grow, one spark and things spiral. Long-term fallout. This isn't a quick fix. The economy slows, shortages drag on, costs rise, and daily life gets harder for everyone.
Listen, word on the street is Donald Trump is getting ready to sign an executive order that is going to require all truck drivers, all CDL holders to speak English. All of us. So all CDL holders, for some reason now, he want all of us to be able to speak English. I'm not one of them people that like to celebrate on nobody getting war because he coming for everybody. But Latinos and Hispanics for Trump. Now do y'all see, bro? Do y'all see? He never liked y'all. He was never for y'all, just like he don't like our asses. Imagine what we could have did if we would have stuck together and did this shit. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and cap and act like I'm glad he ain't say Spanish, because I couldn't pass Spanish 1 to save my goddamn life. All y'all was gonna get out of me was your ghetto Taco Bell. But listen, if you need help with English, holler at your boy. I can tell you what to tell her ass.
All right, so this is for my drivers, right? I work LTL, right? So I pretty much pick up from a terminal and drop it off at another terminal. That's pretty much my job, right? Now, people that do that type of work, where you're bouncing from one terminal to another terminal, are your trailers super light? Has it kicked in yet? Are you guys noticing yet? Right? I've been working here for about a year and some change, and we never used to get dispatched with a trailer under 28,000 pounds. This week alone, I have not gotten a trailer over, we haven't been dispatched with a trailer over 22,000 pounds. I mean, am I tripping or what? Is it just me or what's going on?
Trucking layoffs, new tariffs, trade wars. Is there a recession coming sooner than we think? Let's talk about what the media isn't showing you. Thousands of truckers are being laid off. New tariffs are heating up a trade war between the US, China, and Europe. This is not just about truckers being laid off. That's just the first domino effect in all of this. When truckers start being laid off, the supply chain freezes. The prices go up. And then companies start to cut costs. And guess what that means? That means more layoffs. So what that means for us? That means that in the near future, prices are going to be sky high and we're going to begin to see our shelves empty. So here's how to prepare. Cut non-essential spending. Start saving some money because things are about to get sky high and you're going to need more money. Right now, Also, you can start to buy stuff in bulk while it's not expensive. Stock up on the things that you may need, because we may not even be able to get no supplies at all. This is not fear mongering. This is a reality. And if we didn't learn nothing in 2008, what we learned is that the people who prepare early, they made it through that crisis easier. Y'all, right now, are y'all prepared for a recession? A recession can hit us as early as the summer. Have y'all been following this, and are you prepared? Y'all leave in the comments and tell me y'all thoughts, and add anything that I left out.
Trucking has completely went flat bottom, man. I can honestly tell you these past 3 weeks, this is including the third week that I'm in right now, you get a few runs here and there. I'm in Chicago, right? And it's getting bad. You know, I don't know, what do you tell your drivers, right? You just give them the whole concept of be patient. Obviously, watching the news, I'm not only a truck driver, I own trucks. I got drivers, man, you know? I don't know what else to say or do. Obviously, Trump is doing what he needs to do, right? On paper, it looks good. It looks right. But we're going to have to try to weather the tide, you know what I'm saying? But, man, I mean, it's getting bad, right? And I know a lot of people in other businesses that are complaining too, right? Everybody's watching the news, waiting for this whole situation to die down with this whole tariff thing back and forth. And I don't see no end in sight. I know some of my guys that are owner-operators, a lot of them gave up not having a plan in place after they quit. And they just saying, hey, I'm going to wing it. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But, man, me personally, my advice to anybody, it doesn't matter if you're a truck driver now. Whatever you're doing for a living and you don't want to do that no more, find you another source of income before you quit. Never quit until you have another option, right? You're going to quit and just sit there and wait. What are you going to do? My advice, man, do not quit something until you have something in line, ready to go.
You know, it's funny, now that UPS is laying off 20,000 workers and truckers are sounding the alarm like, whoa, what is going on around? Why all these I voted for Trump. Why are all these bad things happening? This vague recollection of Sean O'Brien, the president of the Teamsters, deciding for the first time in I don't even know how many years to not endorse the Democratic candidate. Any pro-labor person living through this timeline who has managed to maintain just a modicum of brain cells knows that unions famously and consistently support Democratic candidates because Democrats famously and consistently support the working class. Is a black woman? No, that's got to be a coincidence. Good news, no guesswork is required, because back then Sean O'Brien did an interview explaining his decision.
You know, the Democrats forgot who they represented. I think the Democrats were too focused on social issues, but our members were more concerned about the economic issue.
Hey, Sean, quick question. Were you in an alternate universe during the campaign, or the entire Democratic platform was primarily and very heavily focused on the economy? These are the first 3 chapters. They're like 25 pages dedicated to the economy and the working class. This was Trump's platform. Nothing specific about any of this. Kamala Harris consistently warned you how bad Trump would be for the economy. Economists consistently warned you how bad Trump would be for the economy and how good Kamala would be for the economy. It was Republicans who were focused on the social issues, made up social issues, mind you. Trans people invading bathrooms, children getting body parts hacked off, mythical epidemic of migrant crime. It's almost like if your membership was actually concerned with the economy, they would have happily supported a Kamala Harris endorsement.
Democrats seem to wanted to tell people how they should vote.
Democrats committed the cardinal sin of telling people how they should vote? What do you think a campaign is for, Sean? Are Republicans out there telling people to vote their conscience?
My membership is very active. They're very intelligent. People don't like to be told what to do.
Yeah, we get it. They're a bunch of rebellious teenagers who don't know what a political campaign is. How's that working out for them?
Another worse week for the trucking industry. I'm actually sitting in Seattle, Washington right now without a load. I don't have no load right now. I dropped my load 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's already 1 o'clock that I'm sitting here waiting for the load. A lot of people been asking me, does it gonna get fixed? Is it gonna get better? I have no fucking clue what is gonna happen, because day by day it's getting worse and worse. I have no clue. I haven't seen trucking industry like this in the past 10 years. This is the worst year for the trucking industry. Worst year. And when I came to the truck stop, I reserved a shower. There were 23 people in front of me in the line. 23 people. This been 4 hours. I'm waiting for the shower, and they still 3 people ahead of me still. So you can imagine that how many people are sitting at this truck stop without a load. All the truck drivers, we have nothing else to do besides taking shower all day. Pray for everybody. Stay safe on the road.
Speak English or get out. That's pretty much what the new law says about truck drivers. You need to go ahead and speak English in order for you to drive a truck. But what do you think is going to happen now with these facilities, these shippers and receivers? Let's say there are going to be some drivers that are just going to go ahead and disregard that law 100%. But what if the shippers and receivers then start saying, hey, we're not going to break the law. It's the law. You need to speak English. Otherwise, you're not going to get loaded. So do you guys think that only DOT is going to go ahead and enforce this law, or are shippers and receivers also going to go ahead and put their foot down? And it might not stop there. You know, we've all been there in some truck stops where somebody doesn't speak English and they're holding up the line, and it's just like a big mess just because they don't understand what's going on. Could it be that also truck stops are just going to go ahead and flat out refuse to help you out? I mean, wouldn't you be helping a criminal at that point? I'm just curious to see how far this will go. What are your thoughts?
So I'm at work right now, but I am reading this article from Freight Waves. They're saying that layoffs are going to hit the freight-related companies across Southwest or Southeast. More than 1,800 jobs cut in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina. So, question is, are we doing great yet?
If you guys thought that the job market was cooked before, just realize that in the last 100 days, 300,000 Americans have lost their jobs. That is larger than the population of Pittsburgh. Now imagine the entire population of Pittsburgh looking for work simultaneously. UPS, Intel, Amazon, the federal government have announced massive layoffs across the board. Like I said, it's not just the private sector. One of the biggest things affecting this is 121,000 federal employees losing their job over the last 100 days. And because of the tariffs, they're saying that over the next few months, literally millions of workers could be losing their jobs. That's truck drivers, port workers, warehouse workers, import-export agents. And for anybody who has been looking for a job over the last couple of years, they will tell you that it is incredibly difficult right now to find any sort of meaningful work, especially in the field in which you studied. But it is only going to get more difficult because as millions, potentially millions of newly unemployed Americans hit the job market at the same time as AI is replacing people, it is going to be almost impossible. And let me tell you, one of the biggest factors is going to be those 121,000 and climbing federal employees who have been laid off, because they are typically highly trained, highly skilled, highly educated. They've got like PhDs, they've got master's degrees. These people, and they're not going to just be looking in their field, guys. Let me tell you, in 2009, when the financial collapse hit, people switched jobs all over the place. They switched careers like crazy. Dude, I was working in a restaurant and there were people with master's degrees coming in to serve tables. People will become real estate agents. People will become teachers. Anything that they can do to survive. So if you think that your job is going to be okay, you're going to be just fine, let me tell you right now, it is going to get incredibly competitive. And if you've already been having a hard time finding work, it's going to be almost impossible. Everybody needs to start working on their networking again and working on their side hustles. So networking is going to be one of the big things. Start reconnecting with people that you knew from high school, people that you knew from previous jobs. Start, chatting with them again, because when time comes, that is going to be one of the biggest things. If there are jobs out there, knowing somebody in the business, knowing somebody that can recommend you is going to be invaluable. So make sure you guys are networking like crazy. And then your side hustles. If you work in an office or something, go start picking up shifts at a restaurant. If you've never served tables before, learn, because it is one of those things that you can fall back on if you absolutely need to. You need to have something where if you cannot find a job for months, you're able to somehow support yourself. Whether that be DoorDash, go start DoorDashing, go start doing Spark Driver on the weekends, because I'm telling you, the layoffs are coming. The economy is about to crash. And if I lived through the 2009 recession, I know that working your side hustles, whether it be 2, 3, 4 of them, is going to be incredibly important. And again, nothing beats networking. For young people, honestly, consider moving back in with your parents. Start moving in with roommates. Start doing anything you can to survive. Dude, there's people that are going to start moving into storage units. I promise you that. We're going to start seeing an epidemic of people moving into storage units because it's just going to get that bad. But realistically, move back in with your parents. Start saving money. The worst is coming, guys. I want everybody to realize that, and everybody needs to start preparing for it.
All right, guys, there you have it. Actually, what goes up always comes down. I never thought that a profession like truckers, who are actually the backbone of the US economy, we all know what they say. If the truckers go down, the US economy collapses. But this time around, they're finding out, actually. They're finding out because they voted for this. They voted for this, and they're crying all over social media, asking for help, regretting their vote, especially because of the tariffs, the tariff war against China and the rest of the world that the Orange Man actually is waging, against everybody. But we all know that there is nothing new here. He did it before in his first 10 years as president, but they still went to the ballot box and gave him a vote. And some of them were saying even on TV that they can vote for him a third time. Well, this is the food that you cooked for yourself. You have to lay down and eat it, actually, because this is what people get when they don't listen. So we all know that China was the biggest trade partner of the United States, and a lot of goods and commodities that were coming into the United States that were employing a lot of truckers were coming from China. There are reports that the port of LA is actually empty. The US is experiencing empty ports, and this is resulting to mass layoff of many truckers who are going bankrupt. First, it was the farmers. We all remember, Nebraska farmers, Texas farmers, California farmers. All these people actually voted against their best interest because they went ahead and voted for the Orange Man in charge. Again, they voted for hatred because they wanted illegal immigrants out of the country, but they forgot that these people were the backbone of the economy, because a lot of them depended on a lot of illegal immigrants to actually survive and be competitive, because they were paying cheap wages, low minimum income. But now, truckers, it's your time. It's your time to find out. After you effed around at the ballot box, after you did not listen to black people when they were warning you, after you did not listen to everybody and anybody, you thought that the Orange Man was going to do better deals for you and better policies, but you are finding out now that he's actually running the country just like he runs any other business that he's been doing. So this is what you get. You F around, you find out. So MAGA truckers are now actually crying all over social media because most of them are spending a lot of hours without any loads. Some of them have had even to dump their chassis because they cannot even afford to pay for that loan that they took the truck with. So most of them have gone bankrupt. But what does this mean actually for the US economy? Because we all know that the US economy actually depends on the trucking industry, because they are the ones that ship every goods that come into the ports to every final consumer, every final retailer, final giant retail shop that we know of, like Amazon, Lowy, and Home Depot, all this. Sorry guys, it's raining here. I hope you can hear me well. So what's gonna be happening here? This is gonna affect everybody, because it's gonna affect you also, not only the truckers, because if there is no truck to actually carry the loads or the goods to the final consumer, that means there will be no goods or no products going to the final consumer or going to these retail shop or retail giants. That means that it's gonna give you what people have been actually scared of: empty shelves. And when empty shelves hit every major retail store, there is going to be panic buying in the United States. And a lot of people are actually warning that the United States is entering a recession, while some are saying the country has actually been in a recession for years. They're just going into a depression. It's just that now people are realizing what has been happening. It is true that before you see the symptoms of a recession, it can go on for a while, because we all know that the government can try to cover it up before it blows up. Guys, do you think the US is in a recession, or do you think they have been in a recession for a long time? Let me know in the comment section. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing, like this video, and drop me your opinions. And as always, see you on the next episode.